You could take a guy like Canelo. This guy could do. He can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude.
You can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
Floyd Mayweather caused more trouble in the boxing world when he called out Terence Crawford right after Canelo Alvarez's most recent fight. Mayweather didn't hold back, which shows he's eager to get back in the ring for another big fight. People know him for having unwavering faith and a perfect record. Many people think that Crawford is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, so fans and experts are both very excited about the fight. This adds to the excitement and mystery of fighting, which was already there. You can feel the stress.
Canelo this week actually said something interesting. He goes that Crawford's better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like he is?
I think he's more all-rounded in some ways, but Mayweather was so good at certain things that made him impossible to beat. He really stuck to his niche of style, where Crawford kind of tries to fight the more honest, I guess, exciting, traditional way, being there, just moving out the way, landing the shot, where Mayweather would have you dancing around him and chasing him and falling short and falling in and countering the life out of you, and knew and understood 10-9 rounds better than anyone else. Like, you only have to win 7, 10-9 rounds clear and you've won the fight as long as you don't get put down. And obviously he never really got put down. I know there's a few question marks, but for all intents and purposes, never got put down, and he was the best, one of the best to ever do it. It's very hard to go a whole career undefeated.
Terence, but Crawford kept his perfect record by beating Canelo Alvarez by a split decision. One of the most anticipated events of the year was the fight for the super middleweight title, which took place at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas on September 13, 2025. Crawford moved up in weight classes for this fight and felt good about going into the ring. Canelo was bigger and stronger than Crawford, but Crawford won because he set the pace and used great speed, combinations, and boxing.
What did you think of the fight?
Man, I loved it, man. I love the fight, man. I love the fight. I did not know how it was gonna go. I didn't think the weight was gonna be a problem for Terence Crawford. I'm on record saying I didn't think it was gonna be a problem, but it stood to be seen. It needed to be seen, and I knew we would have known after the first, second, or third round. You feel what I'm saying? And when I seen how Canelo was respecting his jab and how Canelo was respecting his power from the very beginning, I knew how it was gonna go. And I knew that Bud was only gonna get stronger and get bolder and, start to wear him down, because Canelo is known to start to wear a little bit in the later round.
Everyone said that Crawford was not going to exchange tonight, and he traded with Canelo up close.
Man, Bud is the best, man. Bud is the best. I've been on wax and saying that, Bud. I've been on wax and saying that for a couple of years now. I bet against Bud on Spence. I bet against Bud on Porter. I didn't think that Bud was the best. I got to give it to him. Bud the best, right? He hands down. He the best. He the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him his respect no matter what. You got to give him his respect. He just went up 2 weight classes what people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do, and he is doing it with ease. Right? You got to respect that.
Break it down for me. How did he win that fight in the way he won it tonight?
He won the fight by gaining Canelo's respect. I think he was already in Canelo's head a little bit. I think that even though Canelo knew he was smaller and everything else, these fighters are still humans and they hear what the people are saying. Canelo was Crawford was undefeated. Look at what he did to the Spence. I mean, look at what he's doing to some of these people. So no matter what, I mean, you have to take that.
Mayweather Jr. bet that Terence Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez because he thought Crawford was good and could win. On the money line, Mayweather bet $50,000 on Crawford to win, even though he was the outsider. The odds were plus $148. Crawford won by majority vote, which was a good bet for Mayweather because it earned him $12,000. The fact that Mayweather bet on Crawford showed that he not only believed in her skills, but also understood how fights work.
Check this out, guys. Floyd Money Mayweather just shared on social media that he bet $50,000 on Crawford to win, and he won $75,000 back. So Crawford made Mayweather $74,000. Most people that I talk to were betting on Canelo. A few people bet on Crawford. How much money did you win on Crawford? $200 here, $200 there. But most people that I know bet on Canelo. And we'll hear from Canelo. We're going to hear from Crawford. And I'll keep you guys posted. But right now, Floyd Money Mayweather bet on Crawford and made some money. What do you want to see Crawford do next? What do you want to see Canelo do next? Let me know. Definitely interesting developments here tonight. When I watched the fight live, I thought Canelo won. I think Canelo won. I have to watch it again, but with no audio because I know the broadcasters were all against Canelo. They were all against him all week from the rivals. So I don't expect anything different.
Mayweather has also said that Terence Crawford is the best boxer in the world, which shows where he stands in the pound-for-pound rankings. Mayweather praised Crawford's skills, discipline, and ability to rule across various weight classes after his great performance against Canelo Alvarez. For Mayweather, being pound-for-pound means more than just winning belts. It also means showing the best rivals over and over again that he is the best. He thinks that's exactly what Crawford did. Crawford has made a name for himself as the man to beat in modern boxing by beating famous winners and not losing a fight.
Now, in your opinion, who's the best fighter in the world?
We can put Tank up there in the top 10 in pound for pound. He has to be somewhere in pound for pound. And Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion, something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence Crawford as
Crawford really liked the way Mayweather boxed. He not only fought well, but he also had a good business and left a memory. Over time, this respect turned into a real friendship between them. Mayweather often gives Crawford small hints and advice, which Crawford carefully considers. He doesn't just take the ideas on board. Their connection shows a stronger bond made by shared goals, family ties, and an understanding of what it takes to be truly great at sports.
You be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, boss, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight. Yeah. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll beat this.
Boy, you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll beat his ass. Never. That's some hate type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of person.
He told the press a few days ago, "I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather." Even stranger was this comment, since Mayweather beat Alvarez in his first fight in 2013, when he was only 23 years old and had never lost before. Crawford beat Alvarez in 12 rounds thanks to his lightning fast hands, quick feet, and perfect planning. It was an amazing showing. Even though Crawford moved up in weight classes, he was still able to defend against and counter Alvarez's strong blows.
TV right here in the middle.
Yeah.
Champ, first off, I want to thank you for the illustrious career that you have given us in the game. You've been a steadfast professional in the way that you conducted yourself, and I want to thank you on behalf of all of the boxing media.
Thank you, sir.
Number
it's my
two,
pleasure.
Champ, I wanted to ask you, this was a fight that we haven't seen from you before. We've never seen you have the sustained and prolonged frustration during the fight. Was there a point in time where you figured that this just wasn't going to be my night? And if you did, when did that happen?
No, I never thought that. I always try. All the rounds I try, but you need to accept it, right? Sometimes you cannot go, and I try all the rounds. I never think about that because imagine, so I cannot think in that way. But I try my best tonight.
And lastly for me, Champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather's uncle, Jeff Mayweather, said something bad about Canelo Alvarez's claim that Crawford is much better than Floyd. He thought that Canelo's comment was meant to make Crawford look better. which would make Canelo's rule seem more fair. Jeff made it clear that Canelo's loss to Mayweather happened when Canelo was at his best, which goes against the idea that Mayweather was past his best. He also disagreed with the comparison of defense skills, saying that Mayweather was better than Crawford, even though Crawford was skilled.
Remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. CJ Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course.
Yeah, nobody had it.
And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost. Yeah, but man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Want to
make himself look like he did something great.
Greg Hackett, Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s manager, has added to the argument between Mayweather and Crawford by saying that Mayweather is still the better boxer. Even though Crawford did a great job against Canelo Alvarez, Hackett thinks Mayweather is better because he knows more about defense and the ring. He agrees that Crawford is good, but he thinks Mayweather is better because he has never lost and has crushed lots of different weight classes. Hackett's view sheds light on the debate going on in the boxing world about who is the best fighter of our time.
The Floyd Mayweather that Canelo Alvarez fought.
Yeah.
In the last version of Terence Crawford that we've seen in the ring.
Yeah.
Who's the better fighter, Jay?
Of course you got to give it to Floyd. Floyd at that time, Ben, what's up? Floyd at that time versus Canelo was in total confidence. His skill set, his IQ, you know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he was just a complete fighter that night. But I feel like was up against a lot because he was fighting a guy that we knew something about, but we ain't know too much about. People don't understand how much a fighter could be thrown off by what he don't know. And the reason it throws you off is because you're actually learning about the fighter while you in there. That's what Bud went up against that night. That's why he didn't look so great to me.
It's clear that Eddie Hearn doesn't agree with Canelo Alvarez that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is not as good as Terence Crawford. He said that Crawford's record wasn't as good as Mayweather's because many of Crawford's opponents were past their best when he fought them. Kerna said that even though Crawford has some big wins, like the one he just had against Canelo, he doesn't have as many great wins against top fighters in all weight classes as Mayweather does.
Canelo saying that Crawford's a better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. But I think Crawford's a phenomenal fighter. The thing is with Crawford, and I was kind of goading him on this, and it's not his fault. His resume's not that impressive. Like I said to him, tell me your best win ever. This is what I said to him. And you know what he said? Ricky Burns. Right? Now, Ricky Burns is a great fighter. It's my guy. He's a 3-division world champion. But you can't say that he is, like one of the greats. He's one of the greats of Scottish boxing. But if you're talking about one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of all time, it's not Terence's fault that he hasn't been able to get those fights. But a lot of the guys that he's fought have been done. Even arguably Ricky Burns at the time. I know he went on to win other world championships, but he was kind of on the slide at that time. Kell Brook, Amir Khan, Gamboa, all of these guys. Who else did he beat? Ndongo, like Errol Spence, another example. Terence is brilliant, but he's never actually really had many notable victories. This would be it. I mean, this would be an incredible achievement. But I just feel like at the age that they're at, like, what is going to happen in this fight? And I just see I don't think Terence, because he shouldn't, is going to take that many chances in the fight. He needs to use his movement, use his footwork, which Canelo doesn't like, and win rounds. And Canelo doesn't really like to force a fight. When did you last see Canelo really trying to get a finish?
A lot of people think Floyd Mayweather is the best boxer ever. Colonel Martin said that Mayweather's perfect record, ring smarts, defensive skills, and ability to beat fighters of all weights set a bar that few others can match. This was said despite recent rumors that Terence Crawford was the best boxer. Mata liked Crawford's showing, especially the way he beat Canelo. Nevertheless, he also said that greatness is more than just one fight or event. It's about being the best, staying on top for a long time, and often making history by never losing. Martin agrees that Crawford is great, but he thinks Mayweather's image is still better.
Where do you sit with this? Because two pound-for-pound greats of this era. Canelo, we see the resume. Crawford, two-time undisputed. Potentially this weekend becomes 3. I've said in a few interviews, is it skills pay the bills, or does a good big man beat a good little man? How do you see it?
I feel like the skills pay the bills, and I feel like Crawford's not that much littler than Canelo. We've seen in the face-off that they're around the same size. If not, Crawford look a little bigger than. Yeah, for sure. So really just we're gonna see tomorrow. How it plays out. Whoever the better man is that night, I feel like will win. I feel like it's even playing fields, and both guys coming ready. So we're just gonna have to see.
If Terence does win this, a lot of people are saying that puts him as the greatest of all time. Now, I know it's hard because obviously you've been with Floyd, and a lot of people are saying Floyd is greatest. But does that at least put him in that conversation with your Floyd Mayweathers, your Manny Pacquiao's, your Sugar Ray Leonard's, all the greats of the past, and obviously Canelo obviously as well because he'll be there. Does that put him there?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, nobody will ever. I feel like Floyd will always be the greatest of all time.
Crawford, on the other hand, talked about how much he was like Floyd Mayweather Jr. and said that each fighter should be judged in the context of their own time. If you compare him to Mayweather, he said, you'll miss the point because he is the best fighter of his age. In this way of thinking, Crawford shows that he is sure of his achievements and wants to leave his own mark on the sport, different from other stars. While training Terence Crawford for a long time, Brian Bulma McIntyre made it clear that Crawford would not rush into another fight after his famous win over Canelo Alvarez. Bulma made it clear that Crawford should take a break before going back to training because he had just won one of the most important fights of his career. He said that after such a tough training camp and 12 rounds, the main goal should be to rest. Instead of rushing to talk about possible opponents, Bulma recommended that Crawford take a well-earned vacation to heal physically and emotionally. He told Crawford that he should take a vacation right now to think about what he has done well and what he should do next in his work.
Get back in the gym. We're going to get back in the gym, and we're going to assess that. And, right now I just want him to go on vacation, have some fun, spend time with his family, man, because we trained for probably a half a year for that fight. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of time spent away from home, a lot of time spent away from the family. So I just want him to just go get back home.
And what for you?
Yeah.
Damn. And for you? Me? Hey, this thing.
Appreciate you.
What you saying about training a half a year?
We trained almost a half a year for that fight. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it was so sharp. Everybody.
Bernie Thigh Boxer, who is a big fan of Terence Crawford, said they tried to scam us in a bad review after the Canelo fight. He thinks that the score didn't really show how dominant Crawford was during the fight because many rounds were scored wrong or too close together. He said Crawford controlled the fight by setting the pace, throwing harder punches than Canelo, and clearly working harder than Canelo. The judges' cards, on the other hand, did not properly notice those traits. Bernie says that the marks on the notes were not fair. The winner was chosen by a unanimous vote, but his screen shows that people are still angry about boxing matches with iffy judges. It's clear who will win, but Floyd Mayweather has a unique view on this fight because he fought and beat Canelo Alvarez in 2013 when Alvarez was still unbeaten and on the rise. That win is still one of the best parts of Mayweather's long and successful career. It showed how good he was at defense and how much he knew about the ring. Now, after all these years, Mayweather is focusing on Terence Crawford. Crawford recently beat Canelo by daring Crawford. Mayweather not only gets people excited about boxing again, but he also reassures his fans that he still thinks he can beat the best.
Mayweather at what? You're 23?
23.
That's so fucking young. Yeah. And he was like, that was when he was
probably
at his prime, right? Prime, and you're only 23?
23.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him because, you know, if you beat him, you want to be the best in the world. 23, so imagine that. But, you know, he was the better man that night. A lot of experience. He's a great fighter,
There could be one of the biggest fights in history if Floyd Mayweather calls out Terence Crawford. If so, why do you think Crawford should take over instead of Mayweather? You are welcome to write what you think in the spot below.